So today we're going to do a video on how to best use our website as well as Google and various search features on the internet to find, locate, and source the supplies that you need to create our projects. So we're going to begin by just making sure that everybody is aware of a few key things. The first being the supply list that we include with all of our projects. So here I am on the website. Okay, this is the main home page. Now, anytime we refer to the product page, what we're referring to is the actual page that gives you all of the details for a specific product. So for example, you can see here, these are our featured products. And if you go to shop and click on what's new, it will bring up the categories page where you can see all the categories and click on any of the individual products. So let's do that. Let's click on one of our new releases here. It's the Gingerbread Goodie Box SVG. And when we click on that, that brings up the product page. Okay, and on the product page, you can see the photo. You can make the photo larger, see all the details. There's also a little heart here so that you can add it to your wish list if you're not ready to get it now. Obviously, your add to cart. There's another add to wish list. But the key thing that you want to look for, and for some reason, and maybe we need to do something about it, but a lot of people miss this section here, and this is where all of the information resides. Okay, so aside from the assembly video and the trailer, which is our little video that we create to kind of showcase the products and create the excitement around them, we have compatibility information, and we've also started to include whether or not these solid score lines are included for a specific project, and I believe that we have retroactively updated that as well. So under compatibility, if you're looking to see if it comes with solid score lines, that will be mentioned there. We include dimensions, obviously, and of course, the main reason for this video, our supply list. Okay, so the supply list is available not only on the product page, but also in the PDF menu that comes with each of your downloads. A lot of our customers are dreamers. They will download, or actually, they'll download, open, and print these out, okay? And that's fine. You can do that. But of course, everything is accessible right here. And I just want to take a moment and explain what the supply list means and kind of how to read it if you're unsure. So for example here, the Gingerbread Goodie Box uses 3 sheets of 12 by 12 evergreen cardstock. Now, evergreen, crimson, clay, parfait, white, those are all specific identifiers for AC cardstock. As you can see here at the bottom, we mention all cardstock featured as AC cardstock by American Crafts. For links to our go-to tools, click here. Okay, if you click on this, it'll actually bring up it's a page that contains links to where we get our cardstock, vellum, the glue that we use, the silhouette pick-me-up tool that you see me using all the time, even the mat that I have under me. Actually, this is not the same one, but this is the one that I usually use. That one just got really dirty and I haven't replaced it yet. Our inks and the ink pads, and then even the little paper racks that I have behind me, and the LEDs that we use in some of our projects. So you can see that link at the bottom here, but also that link is also available, or that information is also available on our app. Okay, and I'm going to show you that here. So what you want to do, and I'll include a link to the app underneath the video on our blog here. So you'll want to download the app. Okay, and once you have the app downloaded, you can open it up. And I really highly recommend this, especially for those of you that are looking to source your papers at a Michael's or Joann's and you don't want to carry the supply list printed out with you in case you lose it or whatever. You don't want to waste paper. You don't want to go through the process of printing it out and organizing it or whatnot. Most of you are going to carry around a smartphone. It's one thing that we never leave the house without. And what better way to keep all this stuff nice and organized than to have it on the app? So if you open up the app, well, for one, you can look at supplies. And this is that exact same supply list that I just showed you on the computer. You can see it here. You've got links to the cardstock, the vellum. You can order it online. A lot of this stuff will take you to like Amazon, for example, and you can order it directly from Amazon, okay? Now, one other thing too, if we click on shop, okay, it brings up our entire list of items. So for example, this is gingerbread goodie box. We can click on that, and if you scroll down a tad, there's the supply list. You just click here, and there it is, right in the palm of your hand. So when you're at your local scrapbook store, you have everything you need right there, okay? So you know exactly what to get. One other thing I do want to mention is you'll notice that sometimes we indicate that, well, we need 3 sheets of 12 by 12. And other times we indicate that we need 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11. What that means is typically when we ask for or require a 12 by 12 sheet, we're going to be using that whole sheet up. There's instances where when you see that we only need 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11, that usually means, well, it definitely means that we're not using the full sheet. And more often than not, it's probably just a small little area of that sheet that's required to create and finish the actual project itself. Okay, so the 8.5 by 11 indicator usually means that we're not using much of it, which is why you can, if you can find an 8.5 by 11, get it. If you can't, get the 12 by 12, but know that you're not going to be using a lot of it. Okay, so anyway, there's 2 main reasons to get the app, and I think honestly those are probably the 2 most important. Aside from the fact that you can stay up to date on everything that's happening with Dreaming Tree and the new releases, and you'll also get notifications directly to your phone, as long as you have them turned on, when new things are released, so that you don't miss them on Facebook or email. So, but anyway, let's go back to the computer here. And as I was saying, the description here shows evergreen, crimson, clay, parfait, and again, those are specific American Crafts cardstock colors. So what you can do when you're on a product page, you can see up here where it says need cardstock. This is a direct link to, they're not necessarily our partners. We do get affiliate sales through them because we refer a lot of traffic to them, but they're a mom and pop website out of Utah that sells primarily American cards, or AC cardstock and Basil papers, and they've also started to include vellum as well. But the beautiful part of it is you can actually type in the exact name from our site, for example, evergreen, and it'll show you the exact color. Okay, and this is the exact paper that we used for that. So we had, how many was it? I think it was 3 sheets of evergreen. Yes, 3 sheets of 12 by 12 evergreen cardstock. Okay, this is the exact color. Now, even if you don't buy from them, there's your swatch. There is a resource that you can use. You can pull it up, and when you're at your local craft store, you can kind of hold the phone up to the piece of paper that you're looking at the store and say, okay, well, that's close. I can get that instead. Or you can order it directly through them. They sell them in single sheets as well as packs of 25. And that's that. So again, we've got crimson, clay, parfait, white. And then here, when we start indicating pattern paper, typically what I'll do, anytime we use a piece of pattern paper, I will try to find the source for you. And you'll notice that we, when possible, include either where we got it or a direct link to Amazon that you can click on. So you'll see here, I'm clicking on this, and it literally takes me to the exact paper stack that we used that contains that specific pattern piece. And so you can see here, there's the little snowflake that we used, okay? That's that sheet of paper. So now let me give you another example here. Now, for example, this holly leaf pattern paper, I don't have a link here, but I did include the name of the company. It's by Pebbles, and it's called Welcome Christmas. Now, there's probably some available, and it's possible that sometimes when we use paper, we don't use stuff that just came out, because we also, just like you, have a stash of paper. And it may not always be something that's current. It may just be something that we have, have had laying around for a while, which I'm sure a lot of you can resonate with. You see paper 2-3 years ago and you bought it because you're like, well, there's going to be a project that I'm going to use this for, just maybe not right now. But that's what happens sometimes. And we don't always have links to them. But that doesn't mean you can't find it. So what you can do, if you go here and highlight this and just copy it, and then just bring up Google and paste it in there, Pebbles Welcome Christmas, hit search, you'll get a bunch of results, okay? And one thing that I like to do, there's 2 things you can do, well 3 actually. I'll do the one that I typically use the most. I'll go on images, okay? So I did a search on Google, and then up here at the top you can click on images and it will show you some sponsored results. And it looks like, well, you're looking for a paper pad, a stack of paper. This one looks like it's 6 by 6, which could still potentially work, but let me see here. We'll click on this one and see what this shows us here. Welcome Christmas paper pack number 1. So it shows us the papers, and this looks like it's a digital version. Okay, so we're gonna head over to AC Digitals. So it looks like they have a digital version of this paper. So for those of you that print your own paper, there you go. There's a solution there. But let's go back to our search results here. And actually, let me go back to just the general results. And this looks like the first result, American Crafts Pebbles Welcome Christmas Collection, links directly to Scrapbook.com. And okay, so that looks like it brought up some of the embellishments that coordinate with it. But every site is going to have a search feature as well. Let me search directly in here. And I'm getting no results. Okay. And I'm getting no results there. Let me try this real quick here. So I'm just kind of showing you what I would go through. I may not find it, and that's probably why I didn't link it, but it's possible that I didn't go deep enough. Okay, so we're gonna keep looking here, and if you don't find it there, you can always try eBay and do a search for it on eBay. Pebbles Welcome Christmas. Oh, what do you know? Okay, first result, Pebbles, and this is a 6 by 6. So that probably indicates to me that this is an older paper pack and you may not find it. Okay, so at this point, since I didn't have a link on there, chances are it's just not available. Okay, now you could try, actually technically, because of how small these pieces are here, the holly print, if you got your hands on the 6 by 6, you probably would be okay. You can see the holly print right there. And you you just have to hope that there's at least 2 copies of it. And actually, here's another thing I just discovered by doing an image search. This is copyright 2012, and it is now 2019. So I'm almost 100% positive this paper stack doesn't exist. If you can find it, great. If not, at least you know what it looks like. So you can go back to Amazon. I'm sorry, you can go back to Google and do a search for holly leaf scrapbook paper. Okay, and let's look at images first. Okay, so there you go. There's some holly leaf scrapbook paper. And let me go back here real quick. Let's go to shopping and see what people, okay, so there you go. Vintage, that's wrapping paper. Okay, so showing this here, and that's taken me to a dollar store where it looks like you're getting 25 sheets. So that that's really probably not going to work. But the next step, if you're not seeing what you're looking for right away, you can try. Well, let's try going to Scrapbook.com, and I'll also make sure to include all the links to the places that we typically go to look for our papers and other items. I'll make sure to include that in the link on the blog post. Okay, so now I am directly on the Scrapbook.com website using their search, so I can look through their site more closely. And it looks like here's a Cartabella paper pack. It's 12 by 12. Let's take a look. And it may not be the exact thing that that we used, but here's another holly paper that just might work. So again, I will always do my best to include the link to the pattern paper that we use. If you don't see it, chances are it's not there. You're gonna have to do some digging around, okay? Or just look for something comparable on the web by utilizing Google. Okay, so again, let's go back here. So again, when you're on Google, just make sure that, let's do Christmas. You know what, let me find another example of another item here. Let's go here, Acorn Luminary Gift Box. This was a popular one. Let's look at the supply list. Okay, so here we have one sheet of 12 by 12 brown pattern paper, DCWV Cedar Woods. Okay, so here we have one sheet of 12 by 12 brown pattern paper, in parentheses, DCWV Cedar Woods. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna head over to Google, and I'm gonna hit paste, because I copied it. I'm gonna copy and paste it, hit enter. And well, wouldn't you know, right there, actually this one is available directly on Amazon. Okay, so I may need to go back and link that. And there it is, right there. There's that sheet that I use. I'm pointing to it here. It's making it bigger over there on the right side. Let me just open it up. There, right there. That's the sheet right there. And if you don't find it right on the front page, okay, scroll down a little bit and try clicking on some of the links and see if it brings up what you're looking for. Now this obviously does not match up with what we're looking for. And if you go through page 1, page 2, and you're not seeing it, take a look at, either go to shopping up here, and you can see it pops it up right there. And it actually will bring up some other things too that you may discover you like better, okay? And if you scroll down here, now let's go to images. When we go under images, you can usually find it in there. Oh, look at that. Our little product came up there. Okay. And again, you're not always going to find it in the images, but sometimes you may. But even if you don't find it in the images, it may come up in the sponsored results. And sometimes it may help to add some more keywords, like the word stack, and there you go. I just typed in the word stack, and well, that is not, is it? Yep, that's the one. So we click on that, and it brings up a larger picture, and then down here, we can click on that and look at that. It takes you right to the DCWV page where you can add to cart, okay? So if you don't find it using Google, whether it be through a generic search or if it's through images or shopping, you can take it to any of these other sources. Let's go to Amazon and let's type it in there, DCWV Cedar Woods, and there it is, okay? So there it is on Amazon, and let's go on eBay. There's also Etsy. I'm gonna do a search for it here. Okay, those look like creepy chicken hands. I don't know what that is. There it is, okay, so there you have it. Okay, so in addition to the paper, you'll notice that in our projects, we use a lot of rhinestones and pearls, and I just want to share this with you. If you actually go to eBay and do a search for craft pearls, okay, I think I did this earlier, yep. So there's a lot of places on eBay that sell these in large quantities. Now, they don't have the little sticky backs, but as you've noticed in our videos, those sticky backs are really not really dependable, okay? So I'll actually go through and I will glue these down individually using my little pick-me-up tool, as so many of you are probably familiar with. And it's really, not really worth spending $8, even with a coupon $4, to get a tiny little sheet of pearls when you can get them in bulk at various sizes on Etsy. Now, it may take a little bit longer for them to get to you because some of this stuff is sold and it comes from overseas. But you can see here that you can change the size depending on the size. You got 2mm, 4mm, 6mm. You know, you can get anywhere from 600 to 100 pieces of, you know, pearls for $1. So anyway, if you're looking for pearls, eBay is a great source. You're not going to get them prime shipping 2 days. It may take a little bit longer, but they're there and it's very economical. And same thing with craft rhinestones. Okay, and you can find the rhinestones here. They show you the actual sizes. You can choose the colors that you want, or you can get a mix, however you want to do it. Great price. Shipping may take a little while, but and this one looks like it's coming from Riverside, California. So even with that, it's still, you know, very economical. So definitely look to eBay for some of those embellishments. Okay, and this holds true for those of you that are not in the United States. You know, Google has its own site for Canadians, has its own site for our friends in Australia, in the UK, France, Germany. You've got your own version of Google for your specific geographic area, and it should be pretty good at locating you know, sources that are near you or that do business in your country. So definitely do that. And even eBay has, you know, international versions of its site as well. And if you have your own eBay, I know that I think in Brazil they kind of have their own little marketplaces. You know, check those marketplaces as well. So just with a little bit of time and effort, you can find exactly what you're looking for. It may not be exactly what we used, but you know, it can be close. So don't give up and don't not make a project because you can't find a certain thing. Spend a little bit of time looking for it. If you find it, great. If you don't, walk away, come back, try again until you find something comparable. Okay. And then one other thing too, before I leave you, the Dreaming Tree group on Facebook has amassed a lot of information over the last, I don't know, 3.5 years or so that it's been around. And I know that when I'm working on something and I need an answer because I'm not sure, you know, whether it be a supply or how to use a certain thing, or, you know, I have a technical question, or, you know, a question about materials or whatnot. If I can't get an answer, or if I don't know the answer, I try to do a Google search. Or in this case, the group on the left-hand side here also has a search feature. So what you want to do is use that because it may save you time. So for example, one of the most common things that we get asked is, what kind of glue? And I'm literally just typing it in verbatim. What kind of glue do you use? And I'll do a search. And you can see here, and it brings up the search results. And it looks like Tina on April 26th asked, what kind of glue do you use for making cards? Or what kind of glue is everyone using? So 102 people chimed in here, 35 people chimed in here. Let's click on this result. And you can see here at one point, our art director, Ron, he wrote, at Dreaming Tree, we use Scotch Quick Drying Tacky Glue, which by the way, is it's in the supply list in the app. So you can find it directly. That one is actually sold at the local craft stores. But again, copy paste into Google, see where it's available, and see where you can get it. Okay. So anyway, I hope you guys found this video informative and helpful. If you have any other questions or suggestions for maybe a future video like this, please leave a comment on the blog or shoot us an email using the contact form on our website. So thank you so much for all of you that craft with me, and I look forward to doing it again.